Welcome to another episode of the Wondering Watercolor. Today we are working on the 6th page of the Complete Beginner's Guide to Watercolor Painting. Let's get started. Okay, so this is the 6th page, and basically all we're going to be focusing here is on brush strokes and brush control. I do think that that's something that's not emphasized enough. So for this exercise, you don't really need to worry about the amount of water or the amount of paint on the brush, because you're really just focusing on how the strokes themselves look. So basically, one tip to kind of always keep in mind is the more that you just use the tip of the brush, the thinner the strokes will be, and then the more that you press down, you're getting more of the actual brush, so then the wider the strokes will be. So what do I mean by that? So if I want to do a really thin line, for example, just outlining this box here, I would just do just the very, actually, sometimes if there's too much paint or water, it'll kind of drip down. But if I want to do just a line, so like in this box, if I just do a straight line, or somewhat straight, so you see how thin that line is. And if I press down a little bit, I can cover the whole box with just one stroke. So this page, I made it specifically so that you can kind of just practice going in and out, moving in different directions, while filling in the different shapes. That way you can kind of get a feel for how to control the brush, how to, like for example here, as we're going down, you just kind of have to twist a little bit to help you get everything. And the other thing is, if you go outside of the lines, it's honestly not a big deal. But this is just something, this is just a page where you can just stop and kind of relax, but also just try to fill in without really worrying about it too much. Because it's just muscle memory, like you're just trying to develop the muscle memory for how to control the brush. So it's just like playing a musical instrument. Once you kind of get the muscle memory, you don't even think about it. And if you mess up here and there, it's not a big deal. And then these triangles over here, I actually wanted to show you a technique. Excuse me. I'm just going to get some purple here. So what you can do is, if you put the brush down, so it's actually, we'll go this way. If you put the brush down and then press in, you know, you can cover like a triangle shape. Like here, I'll do that again on this side, make it a little better. So basically going like, when you press it in, you see how it gets like, it fans out a little bit when you press in on it. You can always play around with how you can shape the brush itself. There are some watercolor brushes that are made out of like goat hair or even wolf hair, that they basically hold their shape in whatever position you put them in. I don't like those. I kind of like the springiness of different, like the brushes that I have. I think almost all of my brushes are synthetic bristles, but there's some really good synthetic bristle brush heads out there now, and whenever you get comfortable with it, it's, if I'm being real honest, it really doesn't matter what kind of brush you're using. I know if you go back and look at some of my previous videos, some of the paintings I just use like a 70-cent Walmart brush, and that's because that's that's all you really need. As long as the paper is good and you have decent enough paint, which is not hard to get, the brush is like the least important factor. And yes, I do have some expensive brushes, and you do notice the difference with expensive brushes, like, don't get me wrong, but they're not necessary. Like, you can make great artwork out of anything. And so I'm just kind of filling in these different shapes here, just playing around. And you can use whatever colors you want. I'm just picking things at random. See, like, this one is a good shape just because of how kind of like sporadic it is. I know I used to try to be really perfect with all of my strokes and fill everything in perfectly, but the longer I paint, the more I realize that it looks a little more organic when you mess up, and it's almost like there's a little more life in the painting. Also, I don't know if it's because I like to paint on site a lot. I often bring my sketchbook to all kinds of events, and I just kind of like sketch and paint people that I see, or buildings, or sometimes when me and my wife are sitting down watching TV, I'll just be sketching I'm sketching whatever's on TV, just try to get a quick sketch for a setting. So that may be why I'm always kind of feel like I'm in a rush. But yeah. Now this page, I made it this way on purpose. As you can tell, there's a kid and then there's a kite, but they're not connected. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna color in the kite here, or just a basic color, whatever you want. It can be anything. Like that. And then the kid, we're just gonna give the kid a blue shirt. Also, just a side note, that's why Miyazaki said that he loves watercolors, is just because he can sketch with it so quickly. And it's probably the most portable out of all of the paints. I'm just gonna get a little bit of gray here for the shorts. There we go. And maybe for the hair. So I'm just going to use my rag here to pick up some of that color. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to get a bunch of black. But we don't want too much water, just kind of like the black. We're almost like it's ink. And what we're doing is we're going to draw a line, just a thin line going straight from the kite to the hand of the child. So we're gonna go like this. and then down here like he's holding it, and that's it. Yeah, just go very slowly. It does not have to be perfect. You can perfectly see what's going on. This was almost like a game page where you just kind of like practice techniques and just have fun with it. Yeah, if you have questions, just leave me a comment, send me a message, or yeah, whatever works, and I'll see you on the next one.